Happy Saturday, everybody. It is adventure day. I am off for an overnight backpack trip to the Roaring Creek Tract of the Weiser State Forest. You've heard me talk about Weiser State Forest before. It's actually a bunch of unconnected tracts all over that part of Pennsylvania, so that's where I'm headed today. Unfortunately, somewhere in the last week, I've lost my tripod. So, to make up for that, I'm bringing a cameraman this week.
Hello again.
This is my very, very tall son, Xander, who is coming with me on his first backpack trip ever. We're just gonna do a fairly short 2 to 4 mile out and back, depending on how we're feeling. So let's get on the road and see how this trip goes. All right. Right, so after giving the GPS a stern talking to for taking us to the wrong end of this trail, we are now in the parking area for the Roaring Creek Tract. It's beautiful here. It's also very busy, so there's a lot of cars out. So hopefully we're not going to have a lot of competition for these campsites, but we'll see what happens. But it's noon, and Xander and I have decided instead of hauling our lunch into the woods, we're going to eat it here and do potty breaks and that sort of thing. And then we'll put our packs on and hit the trail. So we're going to go have some lunch. So my big problem this trip is literally a big problem. As you can see, my pack is enormous. If you watched my setup video, you'll know I'm taking the Ariel A1 hammock tent out for a test run this time. The problem, well, it's not really a problem, but it's a feature and fact about the Ariel, is that the stretcher bars that hold the flatbed flat are a fixed length. So I have to have a backpack that is tall enough for that to fit in. The other issue that I ran into is the underquilt is custom sized, obviously, to fit the Ariel because it's an unusual hammock, so it needs a special shape. And when I put it in its stuff sack, it takes up a huge amount of space in my backpack. So my pack is a lot taller than it normally is. It's also a lot heavier. With the Ariel, my shelter and sleep system is almost twice what it is than when I go out with the Dutchware hammock. So I'm a little nervous about how this is going to go, but that's why we've picked a route that is fairly short. Our minimum distance for today is 2 miles, and in that case it would be an out and back. Or depending on how we're feeling, we might go up to 4 miles to the other end of the McWilliams Reservoir and camp somewhere in there. We're just going to play it by ear and see how we feel. So Xander's already geared up. He's got his backpack on. You want to turn around and show the people what you got? his backpack is 10 pounds lighter than mine, which is completely unfair, but choices were made. So I'm gonna try and sling this thing on my back and let's get out on the trail. All right, we have rigged and jury-rigged and adjusted everything, and we are heading out. Let's go see what we can see.
Allons-y.
It's butt break time. All right, so we are about 2.5 miles into whatever this is gonna look like. Not too bad. Xander's struggling with his pack some, which is to be expected. I mean, it was a cheap Amazon knockoff backpack. It's good enough, but it could be better. We're just having a hard time getting everything adjusted to fit him right. Although he's in a real hurry to get back into it. I'm not. Our goal right now is to get to the inlet for the second reservoir, which is, I think it's called the McMillan Reservoir. I'm thinking that might be a good place for us to set up shop. I think it's about a half mile, 3/4 of a mile further on. And then that would make it a real easy out for us tomorrow. But we're going to get down there, see how we're feeling, and maybe go further along the reservoir. It's a little over 2 miles to the other end of the reservoir, which if we could make that, that would be great. But since it's his first time and his pack isn't fitting him great and my pack is heavy, I think I've got it adjusted pretty well and loaded pretty well. So it's not giving me a whole lot of problems this time like it did last time. But I'm still a little gun shy after the fall last time, so I'm not in any hurry to take any big risks. So if we only go another 3/4 of a mile, that's fine, and that'll give us about a 2.5 mile back tomorrow just on the main trail, which is nice and flat and easy walking. So Xander's in a hurry to get going. He found a Mylar balloon in the woods, and like a good leave no tracer, he's popped a hole in it and is gonna pack it into his side pockets, and we're gonna trash it out. I don't know how it even got back here. That's a long way for a balloon like that to come. But all right, I guess I gotta get my pack back on. That is a gorgeous bird. So we did a great job and hiked the 5 miles out to the far end of the dam and got hit with a double whammy. Not only were there no campsites near the end of the dam is also blocked, so we're not able to cross it, which I thought would be our shortcut in the morning for getting back to the car. So now we are having to prepare to dry camp because even the creek is blocked off to access. I guess so we don't put the water source at risk. So Xander is humping along my 3-liter water bottle or water bladder that I filled before we headed up from the reservoir. And of course, this is Pennsylvania, so it's all rocks. So I'm not sure how much longer we're going to have to go. We've got another 2 or 3 hours till sunset, so we've got time. The question is, do we have the energy? All right. We're not sure what we're doing. What are we doing, Xander?
I don't know.
We don't know. We're gonna walk and see where it takes us. Right now, the sky is starting to look a little dark and unpleasant, so getting back to the car might be our best option. We've done 6 miles. We've got about 4 miles back to the car. That is a long ass day with 28 pounds on your back. We filtered the water we picked up, and we're gonna ditch what's left over. If we end up camping, we'll be close enough to the reservoir that we can get more water if we need it. But this way, poor Xander doesn't have to carry it anymore, because that was not fun, right?
No. I think it's heavy.
It's very heavy. Well, every liter of water weighs 2.2 pounds, so you were carrying 7 pounds of water. But you only had 16 pounds in your backpack, so suck it up. Feel my pain. So if we find a decent campsite on the way, then we'll stop. But I suspect we're going to end up back at the car, which is a disappointment, but sometimes that's what happens. And next time we'll come back here, because we will come back here because I really would like to camp here. We'll know to stop at one of those dispersed campsites over on the other side of the reservoir, because they were very nice campsites. We just got greedy and thought there'd be something better further along. So, all right, I gotta get my boots back on. I really don't want to put my boots back on, but we gotta get back on the trail. All right, well, we made it back to the car. I won't say we're in one piece, but we made it. That was not the trip we had intended. We learned a lot, but let me get this pack off. So, it's a nice trail. I know I say that all the time, but it was a very nice trail, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I think if I'd had more information, it would have been a better hike. We made assumptions about where we'd be able to camp, and when those assumptions didn't pan out, we were stupid and kept going instead of going back to what we knew was a reliable campsite. So that's on us. And Oh my God, the cars going up this road all need new mufflers. I'm disappointed that I didn't get to try the aerial, but I also realized I cannot carry that as a backpacking tent. I am just not in good enough shape at the moment to carry all that extra weight. It's like 5 pounds extra weight over my hammock setup. So I will be going back to my Dutchware gear, hammock. We'll come back and try this another time. I'm hoping that this doesn't put Xander off backpacking. Because, what? What do you think?
I'm just breathing heavily.
He's just breathing heavily.
I'm so tired.
I think he wants me to let him in the car. So, alright. We're going to chug our Propel and rehydrate because we didn't hydrate well. We didn't keep our snacks. And this was a disaster of a trip from the start. So we're going to find a diner and get a well-deserved dinner and go home and take showers and crash. And next weekend, I'm not sure what we're going to do. It'll be very low-key, whatever it is. Because in 2 weeks, I'm packing all this stuff up again, and Deb and I are going out on an overnight. So hopefully that one will go better than this one. All right, we'll see you next week. Have a great week. Bye.